I'm Benj. Welcome back to Doing Outdoors. It's quite a miserable, wet day outside, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to get some jobs done in the greenhouse. The seeds that I planted almost 3 weeks ago now, they've all sprouted, or at least what are going to sprout have sprouted, and some of them are getting quite large, so the task for today is to prick them out into larger pots so they've got a bit more room to get themselves established. I'm really quite happy how the seeds have turned out. Some trays are really full, as if nearly every seed had germinated. These broccoli unfortunately are a little bit leggy. I took them off the heat pretty soon after they sprouted, but they've still grown too long, but we should be able to sort that out once we've potted them on. The onions have done really well, almost full trays of those. And again, I'm going to pot these on into some modular pots. It's the first time I've ever used modular pots. The way I've planted onions in the past is that I'll leave them in these pots to grow till they're about 8 inches long, and then I'll plant them out with a dibber straight into the ground. But looking at the likes of Charles Dowding, growing in the modular pots seems like a better way of doing things. Some of the tomatoes that we planted, these are Roma plum tomatoes. Again, they've come very well. Unfortunately, we only managed to get 2 melons to sprout. It's an F1 variety that have sprouted. I don't know if you can see the name there. I put 4 seeds of each variety, put 2 varieties in. Only 2 have sprouted, but I still have quite a lot of seed of the melon left. So I'll give them another go. But what I need to do is get all these pricked out into individual pots, some into the modular system, and that will give them more space to set up a better root system, and it will give me more time to prepare a bed that they're going to go into, and give me time for the weather to improve, because we're still early. It's the second week in March now, so there's still a chance of a good frost. A lot of these, or most of these, will suffer from a bad frost. It'll kill them all off. So we'll get them potted into bigger pots, and we'll keep them in the greenhouse for a few more weeks, and cover them with cloches when there is a chance of a good frost. You can just see in the back there, behind the jalapenos, the butt jolokia. We only had 10 seeds in that packet, and out of the 10, 7 have sprouted, which isn't so bad, but they've taken a lot longer to germinate than the jalapeno, for instance, but they've come nonetheless. But to prick those out now, they're probably a little small, so I'll leave those where they are for a little longer. But the jalapeno, they definitely need pricking out. Again, they're getting quite leggy. And you can see through that little viewing window that there isn't a flame on this paraffin heater anymore. I've had it off for a couple of days now. I only really wanted the heat for the seeds to germinate. Once the seeds have germinated, I took the heat off. Plus it's getting warmer. It was 15 degrees yesterday, 8 degrees on the night time, and it's going to stay above double figures for the next couple of weeks, so that's plenty warm enough for these seeds. So what I'm doing again is I'm sieving the compost just to get the big lumps broken down and take out any of the twigs or material that hasn't quite broken down. Some people don't do this, but I like to give my plants the best possibility to do well. and it's all that rubbish, bits of twig. Just gives me a finer compost, and I think it helps the plants do a little better. So the first tray I'm going to prick out is my broccoli. As you can see, these are really quite long, so I'm going to put them in some 3-inch pots. It's a Calabrese Matsuri F1 variety, and we're going to pop them on into these pots. I can get 15 into a tray, so they still stay quite orderly. And because they're quite deep, we'll be able to pop these down a little bit to make them so they're not so leggy. So we've got the 15 pots filled with the compost. Now we just need to get these plants teased out. Now hopefully their root system isn't too large. So I'm just using my finger, trying to get to the bottom of the pot, just to lift a clump out, and hopefully each plant will come away with its own root system. You can see that. And then just with my finger, make a hole in the compost. And as you can see, I've planted that quite far down in the pot, just to try and give it a bit more strength. I'll just show you again how easy these should come away. There's 2 there. 1, 2. We haven't damaged the root system at all. These shall grow on really well. This compost is a little dry actually. A little bit of water will help it. We'll give them a good drink in a minute. Get the rest of these potted on. So it's getting late now. I've managed to get 1 tray of the broccoli pricked out. We're starting to lose light quick, so I need to bat round, get the chickens fed, get the pigs fed. We'll come back tomorrow, get the rest sorted. So we're back up the land and back in the greenhouse, and what I'm doing is pricking out the rest of the plants that I didn't get pricked out the day before. Quite a lot to get done, so let's crack on. So there we have it. We've got quite a lot of the seedlings pricked out so far. 3 trays of one type of onion. We've still got half of the tray left of that onion to prick out. Just here. So out of this tray, what we've taken already are nearly 100 onions. I imagine there's another 30 or 40 left here. But we've got the tomatoes pricked out, sweet pepper, another type of tomato, these are cherry, jalapeno, more jalapeno, and the butcherlock at the back, and more onions. We've still got a few bits in the trays to prick out. I haven't touched one of these trays of onion. I really need to pull my finger out and get the rest of these pricked out. They're getting quite big now. But we're getting there. We should have a harvest later on in the year. But that's all we've got time for. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.